Hello, everyone. Hello, and a very warm welcome. And thank you for returning to our gathering. So, last month I touched on the importance of this year, 2022, from a numerology perspective, in particular, how the number 2 brings the energy of duality and partnership and relationships and balance. And when there are multiple twos in the sequence, this energy is supercharged, and we are asked to approach life with more compassion, to cooperate with each other, and to seek harmony. In essence, it's a very important year for looking at how we relate to each other in the world. In Chinese astrology, this year is the year of the tiger, which also brings the energies of rebirth and reinvigoration. In a few weeks, we will experience a very important day, which is the 22nd of February 2022. And from now until the 22nd, we will experience very powerful frequencies that can greatly assist in accelerating humanity's awakening process. I'm going to read a short excerpt from a channeler about this month. She says the rare numerical frequency on February 2nd consists of 5 consecutive twos. The master number 22 pulsates with the impetus of power on all planes and the ability to change the course of history. The master number, consisting of 5 twos, will amplify the divine potential 1,000-fold. This extraordinary influx of divine potential will then build in momentum for 21 days. On the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, we will be blessed with an even higher influx of light through the rare numerical frequency of 6 consecutive twos. That numerical frequency will amplify the divine potential 10,000-fold. On that day, we will complete our passage through the Aquarian gateway. Now, whether or not you follow numerology or astrology, there is certainly an intrigue with that date, 22/2/2022, and it intuitively feels important. By its very nature, the number 2 prompts us to look beyond the world of time, beyond the world of one, the world of just me, and into the world of 2, the world of me and you. I feel it also prompts us to look at the duality in this world and to transcend both duality and polarity, such that we as people can become the totality of our nature, our divine nature, so that we can merge the masculine, feminine, black and white, love, hate, so on. Many years ago, when I was in my 20s, I was talking with a dear older Italian relative of mine who I loved dearly and was very wise. And I was talking to her about the difficulty in relationships and how tough they can be. And she said to me, Augusta, if you put a walnut in a cloth sack and shake it, what do you hear? And I looked at it and I thought, nothing. She said, yeah, if you put 2 walnuts in a sack now and shake it, what do you hear? And I looked at her and thought, rattling, a lot of rattling. And she said, yeah. So, of course, there's going to be rattling. This is the challenge that we face with each other, how to live in harmony and how to work through the rattles. I therefore invite you to take time to maybe gather with friends and on the 22nd of February to use this powerful, amazing energy like a portal, and use that portal to channel all the love and hope that you can for both yourself and your friends and family and for our planet. So to that end, I'd like to share a prayer for the upcoming days. So now just closing your eyes and center yourself in your heart. And allow your body to soften and your mind to quieten and let go of the outside world as you listen to my words. May the spark of divinity within each of us fire up in the coming days and bring us ever closer to who we really are and why we are here on the planet at this time. May you feel inside of you the pure love that is the essence of this universe and therefore the essence of you. And may this love flow freely and easily from you to all beings on this planet. You know that the frequency of love resides in the water in your body, and that with your clear and powerful intent, you can purify the water in your body and change your frequency to that of pure love. Pure love purifies everything. When I look at you, my dear friend, my lover, my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, I see a bright light in a sea of single points of purity. All of us join together at the same frequency of pure love. Each one of us always aligned with our connection to the divine. May you find within you the keys, the knowledge, the wisdom that allows you to merge the dualities within you. May you find within you exactly what you need when you need it to help you bring forth peace, freedom, and joy, and to truly thrive in this world. I am pure love. You are pure love. We are pure love. Namaste.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. What a wonderful opening from my sister Augusta in New Zealand, in the Southern Hemisphere. I myself am right now in Kenya, very close, just a few kilometers from the equator. And Corinne is in the Northern Hemisphere, in Canada. It's quite amazing to see the sky at the equator, getting a little bit of both the Southern Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway, I was traveling this last week in the north of Kenya towards Ethiopia, where the Samburu tribe lives. And we met a young Samburu who told us about his grandfather, 108 years old. The grandfather, as a young man, had helped British explorers, and so he was very familiar with the ways of the West. Now, how did his grandfather become so old? And the answer was he never eats food with chemicals in it. Never, ever. And that includes not eating any processed food, but absolutely only natural food. He also told his grandson to never bring anyone with the injection anywhere near him. He says these people are poisonous to him. I am mentioning this because we know from different sources that some ETs are concerned about our physical purity, as it affects not just us, but also them. And these are reminders for us to cleanse and purify, not only our mind, our emotions, but also our bodies. And here's another story, a story of a friend's daughter. She was tested up her nose and she just didn't feel the same after that. And then a week or two later, one night, she felt an ET come and heal her nose. And from then on, she was fine. And another acquaintance who is well connected to ETs told me of how she felt the area of the injection go warm just before she got it, with a feeling of being protected. So we can receive help in cleansing and purifying. And the higher our frequencies are, the easier it is for ETs to come down and help us. So yes, I am right now staying here at a safari lodge near Mount Kenya, where we will be holding a CE5 expedition at the end of March. And while I was writing the invitation for the expedition, another guest called to me to come see. And there was an elephant just 40 meters from the house. And overnight, he's come right up to the windows, right up to the building. And as we were observing the elephant, I connected with him in consciousness, just as we would do when we connect with ETs. And the frequency of elephant communication is known to be above the frequency of what our ears can pick up. So I set my intention to find that frequency of the elephants. Yes, I heard trumpeting and moving around very close to the house. Now, the owner of the lodge, too, was also inviting the elephant to be here, welcoming him, while the neighboring farm was not happy with having the elephant around and wants to have him removed to another area. And my sense is that this young elephant bull, he could feel or hear our thoughts. He could hear that he is welcome and safe here. He feels the love and the peace. And this is what we have received in messages. The ETs need safe places to rest as they lower their frequency so that they can go into the darker areas of this realm that we live in. So they need these in-between stations. And it's just wonderful to be part of supplying this together with many of you. Now, the way I visualize different frequencies or states of being is on a vertical line. And somewhere up at the top, close together, are frequencies such as love and peace and gratitude and beauty and so on. They are close together and yet separate. Another way of seeing it is that the higher frequencies bring us closer to what binds us together, what holds us together. It is said that love is the glue of the universe. Another way I like to explain it is with a tissue, where I poke my fingers through And on this level, all we see is our fingers, and we see that we are separate. So this might be you, this might be me, and this might be Corinne, this might be Augusta, and we feel separate. But if we could look through this veil, if we could look above, we would notice that actually we are all just one. And yes, here is a quote from Nikola Tesla. Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable. These ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. This quote is from his book, The Problem of Increasing Human Energy. So yes, love cannot be seen, but we can feel it. Peace cannot be seen, but we can feel it. High vibrations and frequencies and energies cannot be seen, but we do sense them. I have been meditating on the frequency of peace. And up in Samburu land this past week, my friend and I had an evening with the women and children around their fire. The men went off to do their thing. And it felt utterly peaceful. We had no common language. They didn't even speak Kiswahili. That's how far out we were. And they chatted away in their local Samburu language, and we chatted away together in our language. And everything is okay as it is. Our cultures are so different, and yet nothing needs to change. We can completely, comfortably be just the way we are. I may feel peace within me, and yet I may have a clear opinion. I may feel peace within me, and at the same time know exactly the difference between right and wrong. I found that when I tune into my body to feel peace, I notice how the nerves, particularly in the solar plexus, calm down. And that is my physical peace, my bodily peace. Then there is the emotional, spiritual peace. Here, I may read about the struggles in the world. I may notice the struggles with my family, my children, my parents, my friends. And I know that if through all these struggles, I myself can stay in peace with the struggle, then I might be able to have a peaceful effect on others, a healing effect. I still have emotions, but I am at peace with the emotions that I am feeling. So on one of my channels, I am tuned in to the infinite and eternal stillness. Is it not in this way that we create peace? We have the inner peace and we emanate it out into the world. Is it not that peace begins within ourselves and then goes out to being within our families, and then within our tribes, our clans, our communities? And then, of course, there's the mental peace. As I said, I do still have my opinions. I do still know what is right and what is wrong. And yet, my thoughts are calm. I am at peace within my thoughts. I know the strength of my thoughts, knowing that the emanation of my peaceful thoughts have a focused and strong effect on the world. I'd like to share the teaching of the sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is found all over the world. And in Northern America, the indigenous people, they collect the sweetgrass and they dry it and they weave it into a braid. And I picked some grass today and I wove it, grass from Kenya. And what they say is that we have the body, the mind, and the spirit. The body, the mind, and the heart. And we weave them together. And if we don't weave them together, we are as brittle as a strand of grass. But if we weave it together, we are unbreakable. When it comes to the mind, we know how easily people can be manipulated, hypnotized, and mind controlled. When it comes to the body, someone puts out their leg and you fall, or someone gives you poison. And that is how easy it is to get hurt physically. How is it that you were not aware of that leg or that poison? And when it comes to the spirit, how easy is it for someone to ridicule you, put you down, call you names, ignore you? All of that is emotional abuse. How easy it is for our spirit to be brittle. But when body, mind, and spirit are woven together, you are unbreakable. Yeah, so you can also look at this teaching of the sweetgrass as having all your channels activated. People sometimes ask me, how can you deal with the horrific things going on in the world? Well, for one, I had my own experiences in this lifetime. And I learned to navigate all channels of my being. And there are channels of the warrioress, channels of the physical actions, channels of emotions, channels of thought, channels of sensing the truth, channels of being one with all, channels of knowing that all is well. And of course, there are channels of peace and love. All of these channels, and so many more, balance each other and make me whole. Each one on its own is brittle as a strand of grass. And together, woven together, braided together, they are unbreakable. I know the strength of my inner peace. Focused, clear, and calm. Body, mind, and spirit braided together as one. I know the strength of the one big channel where everything is well. So in these times, let us find that inner peace that gives us the strength we need for what life expects of us. I would like to share a quote by Viktor Frankl, an Auschwitz survivor. He said, "Life is not about what we expect of it, but what life expects of us." And so we can ask ourselves, what does life expect of me? And the answer may change from situation to situation. And there may also be an overall expectation that life has of us. And this may be peace and love, as well as anything else, from writing a book or a song to loving ourselves. So for me, the realization came up of that the only thing I truly own and the most precious thing I own is my soul. And so I might as well take really good care of it and love my soul to the end of the world and back for all eternity. And perhaps life expects us to forgive and let go when others, even friends and family, are harming themselves, for they know not what they are doing. Namaste.
Thank you, Oona. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Augusta, for that beautiful opening. Hello, everyone. And thank you for tuning in to another deep dive into an alternate perspective as we reconvene again this month to contemplate our ever-changing reality on Earth. I personally can certainly feel the heightened energies and can tangibly feel the increased vibration in my body daily. And it feels like it is increasing. I sense a heightened sense of energy that feels like it's culminating, almost even like a compression, a stretch within this entire polarity spectrum. It feels like a mixture of tension and excitement all swirling together. And what strikes me most these days is how, although we all exist in our own version of reality, the assumption is that we are collectively having the same experience, which is absolutely impossible. And this is definitely one of my biggest takeaways in the last couple of years, is witnessing where people are landing in their own responses, in their own reactions, in their own discussions, and along this surreal path that we collectively, but really actually individually are experiencing. I do feel that whatever we have personally experienced and are experiencing is purposeful for our awareness and really hopefully to be recognized. And that means to be seen again, to be realized, and ultimately to be integrated. It's such an opportunity to be alive right now. And this reminds me of the multiple layers of the personal stories running all at the same time, whether consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. And we have many of these narratives, many of these stories that are sourced from the external. And we really, from day one of our existence, we have been subject to these narratives and these stories, right from the embedded structures of our parents, our caregivers, our siblings, our peers, our education, political, medical, religious structures, the history we were taught, and on, a rolling narrative of what we have been encouraged to believe is truth. And I woke up to the structure of religion at 9 years old, and it became clear to me how people believed the source, what we have named God, was external to them and not within. And I recognized the patriarchy at 13-year-olds and really just being the imbalance of the feminine and masculine within each of us. And I saw how people were encouraged and even pressured to follow prescribed traditions. And that's the way it was supposed to be done. And what was expected of our grandparents and our parents, which then society held us, and particularly me, to these expectations. And I giggle because I definitely have not followed that at all. So for decades, I have witnessed this action of giving away our power to a partner, to a priest, to a doctor, to a politician, to a coach, to a teacher, to whatever revered system that was purportedly supporting us. And this is very ingenious, and a very ingenious way to secure the people's sense of feeling safe. And through my personal work and working with people, when humans feel safe and when we're comfortable, humans don't want to change that feeling of comfort. And even though this may be an insidious source of control, and through this long time observation, I've been able to see how humanity has been unconsciously led into a deep path of hypnosis. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I understand have been clearly see the methods of suggestibility that have been intentionally placed within our reality to cleverly mold our beliefs. So let's take a look just for a moment at the definition of hypnosis, which is an induction of state of consciousness in which a person apparently loses the power of involuntary action and is highly responsive to suggestion or direction. And now some people are more suggestible than others. And I personally, I don't succumb to a suggestion if it doesn't align for me. And for example, I put myself into an experiment and I exposed myself to the experience of stage hypnosis once, which in itself is quite a trip. And when an onion was passed around the group to bite into, suggesting that it was an apple, I passed on it, knowing raw onions are very upsetting for my stomach. So interestingly, I was the only one in the group to pass it on. And I may have perhaps been the only one with that sensitivity, but I passed it on. And what I became aware of in my early 20s was this vast amount of subliminal messaging that was being broadcast. And let's just look at subliminal for a moment, meaning below the threshold or sensation of consciousness, or perceived from the perception of that person, by or affecting someone's mind without their being aware of it. So let's take a look at our world. Without someone's mind being aware of it, through media, marketing, our history books, our languaging, our traditions, sinking deep into our subconscious. And conveniently, as we begin to relax, as we begin to slow down, we become more comfortable. Our brainwave state slows down as well. And as we become more, when we decrease our brainwave state, we become more and more suggestible, which is a perfect setting while sitting in front of the TV, listening to the lyrics of music in the background, all creating an interwoven source of messaging of our perceived, trusted reality. The design of our human psyche is well known by the architectures of this 3D board game. Our brainwave structure has been masterfully taken advantage of. And when we are born into this structure and repeatedly being told what is truth, so that by the time we are adults, everything is baked into our consciousness and classified as normal, therefore accepted, and truth. Very much like The Truman Show, which I re-watched not long ago. And this is a movie with Jim Carrey as Truman Burbank, who, unbeknownst to him, as a baby was born into a reality TV show about his life and grew up living an ordinary life with the others in this show being played by actors. And his best friend opens the movie by saying, It's all true. It's all real. Nothing is fake. Nothing you see on this show is fake. It's merely controlled. Sound familiar? Ooh, let's just have that sink in for a moment. So then the producer of this movie, within this movie, shares, we accept the reality of the world with which we are presented. It's as simple as that. When the board game of life has been intentionally created to fit an agenda, and the rules of the game are hidden from our view, the underlying intentions have been designed to control us in a seemingly supportive structure, when it's really directed towards mostly monetary gain, which equates to profit before people across this board game, the foundation of the game ultimately creates a weak structure. It doesn't have integrity. And will, as is now, it's imploding on itself. And we clearly see around us, as people are realizing and waking up out of this accepted reality, this hypnotic trance, realizing all the while that what has seemed real has been a battle for our thoughts, our beliefs, and ultimately a battle for our consciousness. How do we know what we don't know? How is it that we discover the truth of the actual reality we've been living in and unravel what we thought it was by what we've been told and educated with? How do we access the truth when it's been intentionally hidden? Even within our own buried psyche, how do we wake up from our own embedded unconscious hypnotic trance? That has created the framework, really, of our own personal belief system. And how do we get out of our own boxes of beliefs? We drop our egos of attachment, of self-identity, of who we think we are. We contemplate for a moment the possibility, what if everything in our reality has been fabricated, designed, programmed? What if nothing is true? That may make some people very uneasy. That's a very unsettling question to ask. But just to allow ourselves the opportunity to ask this fundamental question opens up gateways, opens up portals for the ancient question to ultimately be asked then, well, who am I? This is the catalyst, I feel, to this paradigm shift to go to is really to go within, where the answers are, where our deepest truth exists, not the external, it's the internal. Once the questions are asked, the answers are ready and waiting to be revealed. We are the only ones to initiate our own stargates, our own portals within. We are our own technology. In redefining, reevaluating our purpose, which many have been encouraged to do in the last 2 years, specifically with focus intention, we have come to a place of even restructuring our reactions, becoming conscious of our responses. We are reevaluating our choices. We're becoming clearer on the vibration we're emitting. We're shifting from doing to being. We are in process of being our own antidote for breaking out of this battle of beliefs as we take our control of our thoughts back, as we focus on what's really important and super simple. What's really important is to feel better, is to feel good, is to feel great, is to feel fantastic, is to feel joyful, is to feel ecstatic. And some people don't even know that they're not feeling good because the state of being that they're in is their normal. And I simply ask, what does it take to feel better? It's when our perceptions shift and our vision becomes clear that we can then more transparently see the external, see that outside world. We notice the systems then. We become aware of the cracks and the fissures in the structure of this reality. When the inconsistencies in the narrative begin to appear, and when the information doesn't make sense, and when data doesn't add up, there is an incongruency happening. There is an inconsistency. And this is a manipulated reality that can be seen. And the data and the information is being suppressed. And that means out of view, out of sight, even blocking us from knowing the information and the source of who we are. However, as consciousness is expanding and the ability to have a wider perspective of our awareness is increasing, as we simultaneously allow the light to shine from within, we are the ones that become these beacons of light, the lighthouses that are shining into the darkness to reveal all that is required to be cleared and to rise to the surface. It's then that the rules of this game that we have been playing begin to show themselves for what they've been. We then, so importantly, we then regain and reclaim our power from the external to the internal. We rewrite the guidelines of life that serve the people in creating a world that lives in cooperation, in peace, in truth, in abundance, in freedom, and in joy within ourselves and within each other. So we're going to take a moment now where we're going to go into a meditation. And I'd like you to ensure that your body is in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. And whether you're sitting or lying down, uncrossing your legs and your arms, if possible, in whatever position you're taking, straighten your spine. Slowly take in a very deep breath in, starting from your feet. And as you inhale, continue up through your legs, your torso, your shoulders, your arms, your neck and head, and then gently exhale, relaxing your physical body, relaxing your mind, allowing any thoughts to be moved from your head to your heart. Take another inhale in through the top of your head, right down through your body, through your feet, through the structure you're in, and exhale when you reach earth. Imagine or feel this connection to earth, grounding any excess energy you may have. Connect the approximate 60% of the water in your body to the approximate 70% water of earth. Connect your circulatory system to the rivers and streams that serve to carry Earth's water, sustaining life on Earth, as in your body. Connect your respiratory system to that of the breathing, living plants in the forests, as they provide the oxygen for us to breathe. See if you can synchronize your breath with the earth. And see if you can breathe together with Mother Earth. As you imagine or feel the synchronization, now see yourself coming up through the earth, right up through the earth, above your place of your current residence, and then floating or soaring above in the sky from a point of view as high as you can see. As high as you can see your life from a perspective where you can see your birth, your childhood, and your adult life. Expanding your perspective as wide as possible. The wider it gets, the more unattached and objective you are, and the more insightful you become. On a soul level, you agree to experience this earthly reality purposefully, to experience being you in this existence. And with your current perception from above, your purpose here on earth may even appear clearer for you. From this heightened state in distance as well as in consciousness, see all the significant choices you've made in your life that have influenced you along your timeline. Now see your present life, experiencing the decisions of life on the spectrum or the wavelength of your own duality. Currently, in your life, at this present time, what choices are you currently initiating through love? What choices are you currently initiating through fear? What choices are you currently initiating through your light? What choices are you currently initiating through your lack of light or lack of self? What parts are you hiding to keep you safe? What parts are you hiding to keep you from being hurt or exposed? See now, feel now. What parts of you are celebrating your light in your life? What aspects of you are you avoiding expressing your light? And in what ways are you avoiding illuminating the hidden parts of you? Allow now your light to shine into any part of you that is required, to reveal any unproductive beliefs, yours or others within you. Allow now your light to shine into any counterintuitive behaviors that resist love. Allow now your light to shine into any long-standing stories that you've been holding on to that don't serve you. And allow now your light to shine from yourself, seeing, feeling, imagining yourself becoming free, returning to your truth. And anything that has been blocking away your way becomes free. See and feel your power returning to you in the expression of who you are, knowing the only true power source is sourced from within you. And as you clear your path from within, it is then that freedom and liberation is felt. Therefore realized for the ultimate shift in reclaiming internal power. The mastery of who we are depends on us being able to fully see who we are. Therefore, feel who we are. To willingly reveal all of our blind spots. Identify our filters from one end of our duality to the other. To integrate all aspects of us that weren't serving our highest good. To recognize any false structures that we have adopted within our own matrix that have prevented us from reconnecting to our own truth. Once liberated from our own self-trance, freedom arises from within. And as you continue to soar above your life, bringing clarity to your path, now contemplate what changes you can make so you feel better. So you feel better about your body, so you feel better about your emotions, so you feel better about your relationships, so you feel better about your personal environment. So you feel more aligned in your service to humanity. And what changes need to happen to bring you back into your known alignment? Follow your trust, follow your knowing. You know, listen to your heart. As you continue to witness your life from above with your expanded point of view, see you feeling better and better. Notice how you are following your intuition and your truth, which reorients your power and your power source back to you. As you see your life unfolding from above, see you being in the right place at the right time. See how people, the perfect people, cross your path in the right moment. See yourself consciously making choices that align with your sense of peace and collective unity. And as you continue to make these choices, this focus contributes to your light body increasing around you. And as this happens, your sense perceptions increase, and the veil of the 3D begins to dissolve. Not only are you merging with your pre-incarnational blueprint, you trust in your purpose and you trust in your mission. which may even become clear in this moment as you look upon your life. Your frequency increases to the point where you have easier access to the high vibrational beings connected to your soul family. Connected to your star family. Connected to your galactic family. With this advantage of your higher expanded consciousness above your life at this moment, if there is any further information that you would like to share or communicate with you living on this surface of this planet, take a moment now to share this with you. Keeping these messages and insights in your heart as you slowly come back. As you slowly come back, you hear freedom is the realization of the love within. Freedom is the recognition of the light within. Freedom is the experience of the source that I am. Global freedom exists in the power of love. And unity consciousness is when we share all of that with each other. Coming back now into your body. Feeling yourself sitting or lying where you are. Taking a deep breath of life force energy into your body. And exhaling. And when you're ready, returning to planet Earth and opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this month. Thank you for your presence. It was a pleasure being here with you.